Okay, so yesterday ended up being a crazy day. I had to drive 4 hours just suddenly to go pick somebody up, get all their stuff, drive 4 hours back. So it was a crazy day that just was very spontaneously erupted. So it was super weird. What I noticed was this something with time or something was weird. Like it seemed like I was going like super fast and time was just like flying, and it felt kind of like in sync. And it kind of made me think, like, as consciousness, if we totally got in sync with that is probably how we propel ourselves into other places and stuff, like the idea of space travel or something with the time and the space, you know. But I could feel something about it. It's hard to explain because it's not something, you know, that we talk about or, you know, discuss with people. Like this is the weird world we live in. And so this morning I'm talking about the person's here, and I'm like, yeah, so crazy, this weather out here. It's like it's fall. Oh, because there was some fruit flies or something, and it's like, where in the hell, why would there be fruit flies in here? And so I was saying, it's just been weird. Like, it is fall, but it's middle of summer, and then this person is like, well, it's global warming. Like, this is where we're at in this split reality. We have the people who believe everything that they're told. And then we have the people who understand that this is a created environment that is controlling, manipulating, and experimenting on us. And so it's very difficult. Like, I mean, we're to the point now we can't talk about the weather. That used to be like your go-to. I mean, you didn't know what to talk about. It's like, whoa, so what do you think about this weather? And then it was like the common ground for everybody. Now it's like, it's very split. There's those of us who see it's being controlled, and there's those of us who think that Mother Nature is, you know, pissed at the cows. And also, oh, so I went in and, you know, I took a shower and stuff. I got a lot of insights, man. The insights and stuff that are coming with this Lionsgate thing, that's what I think was part of that. This awareness of this time and space, the way it was moving with me. Like, it was trippy. It was cool. And, oh, damn it, I forgot what I was going to say. Well, anyways, the time and space thing was cool. And it did feel so much like, sometimes it feels like if you could let go, you would just go. You know, it's like us holding on. It's our perspective, our perception that restrains us back, that keeps us back like that, you know. And it is the, you know, not being taught. I think we're going to go into a time where I think there's a lot of people on the planet right now who have a lot of great teachings to share, and I'm super excited about the times that we're headed to, and really starting to understand. It's like everybody's got a different chapter of the book, you know, the manual on this human form, and being a spirit and being a consciousness and stuff. Like, there's a little bit out there in all sorts of places if you start going out and looking. And it's super cool because I think we're headed to that time of actually mastering this, or at least going in that direction, you know, not in this survival kind of world that we've been trapped in for so long. But you don't actually get trapped if you're a soul. You know, you make that choice to come, because there's so many lessons, which is another thing too. There's so many things rushing through my head, and it's hard to, like, in the bath, there was so many. Oh, but when I had come out, that one of the things that they had, so I came out and I said, did you know that Antarctica used to be tropical island? And she's just like, no. But hopefully that plants that seed in there. Like, the planet's always changing. I mean, the place that is completely full of under ice used to be a tropical island. Okay, so was it because of the cow farm? I mean, what's going on? You know, explain. Please explain. So, okay, yesterday when I was talking about that weird dream thing where it was this weird movement. Like the perspective was like weird. Like I kept trying to figure out like, how would I have had this perspective in movement like this and it feels so out of control? And I just kept thinking like, where did I get that? It had to be an experience that I went through. And so last night, you know, when I got home, it was like, fuck, I didn't get to bed until like 1 in the morning. So probably way more tired than normal. But I guess apparently I'm, you know, 5 hours is all I need anymore to survive. But I do feel tired as shit. I have a horrible headache today too. And so I went to bed super late. And when I went into bed, and I always just like turn on my side and just relax and start, I don't know, start getting visions and stuff. You just immediately go into this other space and time. And so it seemed like I was only laying there for a second. And all of a sudden I got, and this was so crazy. It's so hard to explain how it was so cool. So it was all of a sudden, and it was super fast, and it was like this merging kind of these two different, like I would say, two different life experiences that had a similarity or something that kind of merged for a second and showed me how it worked. And so the two that was like Roman times. And, you know, those little carts, how they used to have those little singular carts. It was just them. And they could have, I think with those, they would have 1 horse. But I think like the emperors and stuff, they could have like 6 horses. They would have like a long thing of horses pulling them. And they were just like, you know, super cocky. And their, you know, all their gear and stuff. And, but they would go into battle in these things. And these were like warriors and soldiers and stuff. And so at the same time as that was going super fast, and it crashed. And as it crashed, oh damn it, this thing is not working right. Oh, what the fuck? When it crashed, it was like I was the horse, and I was looking out of my eye, and I went through this experience as the horse. And all of the horses crashed and fell back on each other, and they were going at a super high speed. And as they fell and crashed back on each other, all of a sudden I saw the vision that they had showed me, what that looked like. And it was like, oh my God, that was so trippy. Plus feeling it as the horse of going through the experience. It was so fucking trippy. So that happened. And at the same time, it kind of did this merge as a stagecoach. And this is what I kept on thinking in the beginning when I had seen it. I kept thinking it seemed kind of like how I imagine a stagecoach going around like those cliffs and stuff. And, you know, it was pretty treacherous drives, and they had ones that had to go back and forth. That was the way that people would travel, but also it was the way they got supplies. It was the way they moved mail. It was, you know, it was the whole transportation between our East and West Coast. And and people would use wagon train, all of those things, but there was the stagecoach ones that they would, you know, and they would get robbed and shit all the time. And when I very first had it, I thought of, it kind of seemed like that's what came to my mind about the stagecoach. So when this showed me this like crash with these horses, and I saw the bucket, I saw the warrior and stuff coming at me and flipping over to its side, but I felt it as the horse. I saw the vision of the horse and felt the pain of them all crashing into each other, this powerful slam, you know. Then at the same time, it like emerged was this stagecoach, and I was the driver, and I don't know what was going on, but you know, the horses were, you know, I don't know if the horses were out of control or it was running from something or what was going on, but it was this second of things lost control. And I think it was on the side of a cliff, and it went over. So I had these two visions of these two crashes at the same time that kind of merged. And it really makes me think about like how many of us have those, you know, those falling dreams, and how much of that is these experiences of dangerous times where, you know, we did really fall. It's like something that we really did experience. And, but the thing that I got from it, because it was it was really cool. It felt like it was masterful. It was such a cool visual, but it wasn't just the visual because you felt it. And to have it the night before and to have it be so confusing is like, what does this mean? Like, what is this? Why would I be shown this? Then to get that. But the thing that my takeaway is how intense it would be if we really were experiencing all of our different lives at once, and that we were having to process all of these traumatic, like those were traumatic events, and having to experience them all in a life while you're alive, you know, while you're here trying to, because it seems like most people that they can't wrap their heads around reincarnation because, well, I should be able to remember all my lives. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But you think about, like, if you could just remember them all at once, all the time, like if it was constantly coming to you, how intense that would be. I think you would have to spend most of your lifetime in some sort of trance state, some sort of just a meditative state where you just lay there processing all day of all these different things. Well, that's what we do in our dead life. We can process, we can go from life to life, and we can process the stuff. We don't need to do it here, for one thing, but for another, it would be just exhausting. It would be all your whole life consuming, and you're here to experience and to develop more skills and more knowledge and stuff. So it's not about just totally focusing on that. And I think it's important to realize that each life has to do with the next life. Like, you definitely have things that you don't understand about yourself that are deep-seated wounds or experiences from another life, and that you carry those from life to life to life. And you can have like phobias and fears and all sorts of things that are related to a past life. And there is a lot of healing that can go in and do those past life regressions. And it's interesting, like in that show, how the thing that they're trying to work out is the thing that they'll be shown. And that happens, you know, oftentimes because you have this synchronicity kind of thing with your higher self. Like, they are doing everything they can to get you to heal and have understanding. You know, they're trying to communicate all the time and help us. So, you know, the more that you can, you know, understand that the stuff is for your good, but when you go into it, sometimes they won't show you, you know, there will be something else that they want you to look at or understand, you know. So I can't say every single time you go do a past life regression, you could go in and you could go, oh, I want to learn about this and I want to learn about that. Why do I do this and why do I do that? You might not get shown those exact things. And, you know, you can't base it on the show, what they are, because, you know, they get to pick and choose who they're going to put on the show. They're going to put the best ones, the ones that are making their point on the show. And the ones that they can find the most information about and stuff. And it's so interesting. I love that part. Like, I wish all past life regressions, I wish there would be a lot more of that, where the people who worked with you would actually do all the research into the information that you gave so they could present this whole thing, because it does seem to be a lot of healing. But I don't think it would be as, you know, effective for us to just be sitting here constantly processing all of these things in our life. We have to have a disconnect from those other lives to experience. And we have to understand that there is a balance going on. So if we did shitty things, then we have to see what that feels like. We have to understand, like, what does that feel like? If I did this to somebody and I did it without thought, didn't care, didn't have any idea that they were their own soul and they were having an experience and feeling this pain in a certain way. Once you go into your, you know, your life review and you see that and you experience it from those perspectives, then you have to put things into balance depending on whatever, your crime or whatever, how you've set things out of balance. You know, like fucking Fauci right now. Like, there's a lot of people right now that is like, I think they would have to just make another a planet for a lot of shitty experiences so these people can balance back out, because they've got a mess on their hands. The stuff they've created, you know, it's so much stuff against humanity. And what is crazy, I was thinking about this yesterday. I thought about a lot of stuff driving for fucking 8.5 hours. But I was thinking that it was something about the people that, you know, like they created us. And then, you know, it was kind of like free game, you know, anybody who wanted to kind of see like, so what do the humans do if this happens? What do the humans do if that happens? Do humans, you know, gain awareness? And, you know, I mean, most of us have, I think, is those people on TikTok. It just, I just can't get it out of my head. Like, there's definitely a spectrum on human awareness. There's just no doubt about it. I mean, you can definitely see there's people putting it out there that, you know, there's souls that are here to learn a lot, that they haven't, you know, learned a lot. And they are, I don't know. Like, and I know there's a lot of souls here who are here to teach, and that we have this unique opportunity that the universe is handing over to, you know, learn about ourselves, to grow and to ascend. Oh, and another thing too, I'm only gonna do one today because I have company now, and oh, maybe I'm gonna do two because there was another thing I wanted to talk about. But, and I was thinking, and what they were showing me, I was thinking about it, but the ascension thing, you know, where people think about like the world in dimensions. And I think a lot of people have this 3-dimensional kind of idea about it. Like you just go upstairs and you go from floor to floor. But I think the whole idea of the dimension thing is actually your consciousness awareness, the ability of how high it can go, how much it can understand about itself, how high it can really begin to control its environment and stuff. I think that is part of it. And we're just stepping over that threshold. We're just getting started. I mean, like I said, we're just about to start learning of some of our abilities. And then it just, you know, goes up and up and up and up. But I think that that is what the whole thing is about. Dimensions is really just understanding your dominion, your dominance, your abilities over any avatar, but over your consciousness. So I think that's what it all has to do with. But anyways, there was another thing I wanted to talk about real quick. So I'll be right back.